It's Independence Day at Progressive Field, and expect plenty of fireworks as the first-place Tribe squares off against the Bronx Bombers, who sit atop the AL East. Stars will be shining as the Yankees boast a Major League Best 6 All-Stars, while the Indians will be represented by Asdrubal Cabrera and Chris Perez. Josh Tomlin will try to make it a happy 4th of July for a sold-out house next on Sports Time Ohio. On a gorgeous 4th of July evening in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball. Tonight, the Tribe welcomes in their old-time rivals, the New York Yankees, for a 3-game series. Hi again, everyone. I'm Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Hope you've had a great Independence Day weekend holiday. And Rick, the Yankees come in here. They're atop the standings in the AL East. The Indians are atop the standings in the AL Central. Just when you think maybe things will get easier for the Tribe after that 10-day, 9-game road trip, they don't. They get a little bit tougher because the Yankees and then Toronto coming in over the weekend before we go into the break. And you look at the matchup tonight, you got Derek Jeter for the Yankees closing in on 3,000 hits, just 6 shy. He got hurt the last time we faced them. And then, of course, Asdrubal Cabrera for the Indians. 2 great shortstops squaring off.
Well, Jeter, a 12-time All-Star, and Asdrubal going to be going to his first All-Star game. Hopefully he gets some playing time as well. But you're looking at 2 of the premier shortstops in the league right now. Asdrubal having a career year. When you look at it, you mentioned Jeter just 6 hits away from 3,000. I don't know if they'll let him get it here because they do head home, after Cleveland. But Asdrubal Cabrera, look at that, just 7 innings. He has not played for the Indians all year long, and he is having a terrific home season so far.
It's amazing, really, when you look at what Asdrubal Cabrera has done this year. He has truly been their iron horse. All right, let's look at tonight's pitching matchup because Josh Tomlin going for the Indians. He made his debut against the Yankees last summer here in Cleveland, and man, he was fantastic in that game.
And tonight's pitching matchup is brought to you by Ram Trucks, designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram. And he's going up against A.J. Burnett. He had a tough loss against the Indians this year. Lost a tough one. It was a 1-0 ball game, and only 3-5 in his career on the road. But Josh Tomlin, on the other hand, made his start last year against the Yankees in 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, just 1 run. He was brilliant. So why not? Come on back, do it again. He's been very good for the Indians this year. I want to see if that New York Yankee, the patient New York Yankee lineup, may go after first pitches early and give Josh some easy outs.
Well, we'll see how it shakes up. The Indians and the New York Yankees. It's all coming up straight ahead right here on Sports Time Ohio. Oh, I'm sure there are lots of folks barbecuing in the backyards, in the parks, wherever you may be on this absolutely picture-perfect Independence Day. Indians and the New York Yankees, longtime traditional rivals from the old days, are reacquainting themselves with one another, and they've got a great 4th of July history as well. We'll get into that more as the night goes along. Indians have taken the field. Let's get a look at the starting lineup for New York. For manager Joe Girardi, Derek Jeter off the DL and in the lineup leading off. Then it's Granderson and Teixeira, followed by A-Rod, Robinson, Cano, Nick Swisher. Jorge Posada, Russell Martin, and Brett Gardner hitting ninth.
Josh Tomlin making his 17th start. Josh is 9-4, looking to get win number 10 tonight. He has pitched 102 2/3 innings, 58 strikeouts. He is 6-1 in this ballpark, and his very first start came about a year ago against the New York Yankees, and it was a dandy. 7 innings, 3 hits, and he gave up 1 run.
Josh Tomlin's first pitch runs in off the plate for ball 1. Derek Jeter was injured when the Indians played in New York. He had the calf strain that sidelined him, immediately went to the DL, and this is his first game back. Slow tapper hit toward third. Lonnie Chisenhall can't come up with it, and Jeter is aboard.
I think right there Chisenhall tried to peek a little bit and didn't look that ball into his glove. He had time. And, boy, I'll tell you what, you take a tester if you're Derek Jeter just coming off the DL. And he had a calf strain, and you can see where Chisenhall peaked a little too early. It'll go as an error. But he got out of the box very well, got down the line. It'll go as an error.
And it will bring up Curtis Granderson. Granderson looks at a ball down low. Tomlin deals. And it's 2-0 to Granderson. Derek Jeter with 7 steals on the year, but just coming back from that injury, you don't expect him to be taken off.
I certainly do not. He's not even taking a big lead. He's just sitting out over there. Maybe on a full count or something like that, to start the runner, but he's not. I don't think they would test him this early.
Curtis Granderson having a monster year for New York with 22 home runs, 58 driven in. And he takes its ball 3.
Now, this is rare for Josh Tomlin. Coming out, normally he is strike 1, strike 2 on everybody.
And he missed up high, ball 4. So the first 2 Yankees reach to start the game.
Let's take a look at the Indians' defense, brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet, saluting the men and women defending our country and watching on the Armed Forces Network. Brantley is in left, Sizemore in center, Kearns is in right, Chisenhall at third, Asdrubal at short, Orlando at second, Duncan is at first, Santana is behind the plate.
Mike Estabrook is calling the balls and strikes. Jeff Nelson, Marty Foster, Bill Welke on the bags. Shift on for Mark Teixeira, 3 on the right side. And there's a strike. Teixeira has hit 25 home runs this year for New York. He's driven in 65 runs. Tomlin with the 0-1. And it's a little bit inside to even the count.
Well, you would think this is a half an hour earlier start time, and it looks like it may have a little effect with the pitcher still in the sunshine, hitter in the shade.
And the 1-1. Grounded foul, first base side. Tomlin gets ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Now Mark Teixeira having a big year offensively, despite the fact he's hit just .243 for average. And the 1-2. Hit in the air to center. Grady Sizemore circles under that. And the runners have to hold. 1 away. Let's take a look at the injury report tonight. And for the Indians, of course, Fausto Carmona, after taking the tumble in Cincinnati. Shin-Soo Choo had surgery on the thumb. Talked to Matt Laporta today. He took batting practice before the game. Feels like he's getting very close to being able to return. And a long list of banged-up Yankees. Derek Jeter just coming off the DL tonight. Phil Hughes will return from the DL to pitch the series finale here on Wednesday. So 2 on, 1 out, and Alex Rodriguez to the plate. And Tomlin fires. A-Rod went fishing. Chased it for strike 1.
See, I was wondering if the Yankees were going to try and get aggressive, knowing that they faced him in New York and he will be aggressive in the strike zone. This is a very patient club. They lead the league in walks. And I figured these guys, normally they sit back that first time through and make you work. But you get a runner in scoring position, and he was able to get A-Rod to chase after one.
Joe Girardi in his 4th season at the helm. And he's got his team a game and a half in front of Boston in the East. Actually, 2 full games at the moment. Red Sox lost earlier today, snapping their 4-game win streak. Toronto was out to a big early lead and had to hold on at the end. Tomlin ready with a 1-1 and popped him up. Out goes Orlando Cabrera. He's there and he grabs it. 2 down. That's a day with the wind blowing in where the second baseman can go out and get to that a little easier than if the wind's blowing out.
That's exactly right. And after that pitch inside, he's able to get him to reach for a ball. Little slider or cutter away that goes off the end. He couldn't get any good part of the wood on it, so he pops it up. And you're right, with the wind is blowing in, and it's surprising. Normally when it's this warm, it blows out, but easy fly ball to second base and Orlando Cabrera for out number 2.
That flag blowing straight in, as you can see, coming in off the lake, but very pleasant. 79 degrees at game time. Robinson Cano with 2 on, 2 out. Now this is where the Yankees have the kind of lineup that can wear a pitcher down, because you get through Teixeira and A-Rod, and just when you think you can take a breather, you've got Robinson Cano who can do as much damage as anyone.
Well, there's never a breather in this lineup. They have 4 guys with over 50 RBIs and over 50 runs scored. They're the only team to do that. Every other team only has 1. So they continue to come at you. And if it's not the first inning, then that lineup turns back over again. You're going to face them 4 times, so you have got to make quality pitches.
Carlos Santana took that foul tip, nailed him behind the dish, and he needs a little time to gather himself. Santana, kind of a bizarre scenario. Right before the game, literally minutes before the game tonight, an announcement was made in the press box that Santana was out of the starting lineup and that Lou Marson would catch and bat 9th. And within 45 seconds to a minute later, they came back and announced, scratch that, Santana's back in the starting lineup now. Disregard what we announced earlier. So that was kind of a strange, rather quick turn of events.
It was.
But Carlos appears to be fine. But it's certainly something we'll keep an eye on and monitor as the game goes on, because you wonder if maybe he was starting to feel a little bit ill and then maybe it passed and he decided he was okay to go. 2 on, 2 out. 1-1 count. Checked, and boy, that was a pretty good looking pitch. 2-1.
This is a team where with the Yankees, they score a lot of their runs, 45% of their runs coming via the long ball. The one thing you don't want to know, there's a good cutter inside. Must have been high because it looked like it had the plate. You don't want to give them extra outs like the error and the walk. You can't do that too often and get away with it against a team like the Yankees. If they hit their way on, it's one thing.
Off the end of the bat, center field. Grady Sizemore camps under that. Great job by Josh Tomlin. The first 2 reach. Then he goes 1, 2, 3 to get out of trouble. A sold-out house here at Progressive Field. Indians coming to bat. Back here at Progressive Field, although that's not actually at Progressive Field.
No, it's not.
That was Rick Manning earlier today, coming to work down the Cuyahoga River.
Don't tell them that. They'll see the numbers on my boat.
All right, Indians coming to bat here in the bottom of the first against A.J. Burnett. And Maniac's starting nine is presented by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Michael Brantley is Drupal Cabrera and Travis Hafner at the top. Good to see Pronk back in the lineup. Carlos Santana, Grady Sizemore, Orlando Cabrera in the middle. Then it's Lonnie Chisenhall, Shelley Duncan, and Austin Kearns.
A.J. Burnett, the starter for the Yankees.
And Michael Brantley takes a strike.
Burnett coming off a good start against the Brewers in his last start where he went 7 innings, gave up 7 hits and a couple of runs. Walked 2, struck out 4. This guy, when he is on, Matt, he can be awfully tough to hit. Doesn't give up a lot of hits, but occasionally he can get out of whack with his mechanics, and he can spin on the baseball, and it's tough for him to throw that curveball. You'll see a lot of wild pitches.
Missed down low with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2. Downstairs, you see Burnett has that slight turn in his delivery where he almost shows his number to the hitter right before he comes to home plate.
That's the pitch you want to lay off of if you're an Indian hitter, if you can do it, that curveball. If he's throwing it for strikes, you're in trouble. It's going to be a long day for you. But if you can lay off of that pitch and make him throw it for strikes.
When we were in New York, he had a great curveball that day.
Yeah, he did.
He was tough. And Brantley's out looking to start the ball game.
Let's check out the Home Depot defense for the New York Yankees. It's Gardner in left, Granderson in center, Swisher is in right. Be A-Rod at third, Jeter at short, Cano at second, Teixeira at first, Martin is behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. There you look. 18th start for Burnett, 8-6, 106 innings, 85 punch-outs.
Way outside to his Drupal Cabrera, who has homered 14 times. He's driven in 49 to go along with 21 doubles. Too low, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, as Drupal probably happy to get home. Last couple of days in Cincinnati, rough days for him as far as swinging the bat goes.
Didn't look like the same as Drupal Cabrera.
No. Get home to some home cooking.
The 2-0 pitch off the end of the bat, but
That's
it's
what you're
perfectly
talking
placed into right field. A 1-out single for Asdrubal Cabrera.
The friendly confines.
Yeah, he went 2 for 13 in that Red Series, but all told, 9 for 36 on the road trip.
Well, and that's what you do. This one a little off the end of the bat, but, you know, you get home, he's hitting .318 at home this year, and it just feels good to get in that batter's box where you're very comfortable.
Stops an 0 for 6 for Cabrera. And it brings up Travis Hafner, who had a pinch hit single yesterday, drove in a run. But he's just happy to know that he's going to be back in the lineup getting 4 at-bats every game now.
Isn't that the truth? Only 5 at-bats with a walk on that trip. He was 2 for 5, but, man, when you're used to getting 4 at-bats a day.
That brings us to our great clip of the game from yesterday in Cincinnati. This is one of those hits that you talked about that he had on the road trip. And that was a big hit at the time because the Indians were playing catch-up, and he drives in a run. Scoring Shelley Duncan. Relax, you're at Great Clips.
That made it a 7-5 ball game right there.
Hafner's hit in 11 of his last 16 games.
You know, the toughest part of the whole trip was, you know, Hafner wasn't going to play first base or put a glove on, and he was only going to pinch hit, and you lost Chu on the very first game, Friday night. So you take him out of that lineup, and you only have Hafner for pinch hitting duties. That was remarkable what they did after they got swept the first 3 games by San Francisco. They were able to come back, win the series in Arizona 2 out of 3, and win the series in Cincinnati. I'll tell you what, that's grinding away. That ended up being a very good road trip, I think.
No doubt about it. Now the 2-0 to Hafner. Takes a strike. I think that's why on the flight home yesterday, and albeit from Cincinnati to Cleveland, it's a rather quick one. But normally after a loss, at any point during the season, you know, heads are down, guys are feeling it, you know. But I think the way they battled back on that road trip, it was, even though they lost yesterday, it was a pretty good positive feeling coming back home to Cleveland.
Well, it should have been. You won the series. That's what you shoot for. They had a chance for a sweep. They didn't get it, but they battled back offensively as well.
In the dirt, and Cabrera takes off. Martin's throw. Got him.
Just barely. Martin got on that ball, and he throws well. Made the perfect throw to Jeter, and he was able to tag him before the hand got in. Initially when he took off, I thought it was the right thing to do. But look at that ball only gets about 2 feet away. Martin was on it, boy, like a cat on a mouse, and he got rid of it with a perfect throw and gets him.
That was about as close to a perfect strike as you can throw.
Well, there's another belt. We got to put that on the list. He went in head first. It's number 4 this year.
He doesn't put notches in his belts. He puts belts in his notches. Hafner draws a walk. And a 2-out base runner now for Carlos Santana. It's going to bring up Carlos Santana now, who was in, then out, and then back in the starting lineup just moments prior to the game today. .227 average on the year, a dozen homers, 15 doubles for Santana. Down low, ball, no strikes. Santana. He's one guy who really enjoys interleague play, a career .278 hitter now. In his 2 seasons in interleague action in 35 games, he has 27 ribbies, 9 homers, and 10 doubles. 2 balls, no strikes as the pitch missed outside. Russell Martin appeared to be quietly arguing with Mike Estabrook about the location of that 1-0 pitch. He felt it was a strike. He gets the strike call here, and it's 2-1. Up too high, 3 balls and a strike.
Look at
and
Burnett
now Burnett is arguing.
Yeah, well, you
So
see,
now you've got both catcher and pitcher bickering with Estabrook, and he's had just about enough.
You know what's funny? Here comes now. They're arguing balls and strikes. You can't do that, first of all. And he's telling them, look, it looks like on the 2-0 pitch, he got a break anyway for a makeup call. Now he's coming out to stick up for his pitcher and catcher. And Burnett just doesn't agree with the strike zone. It's plain and simple. Now the umpire at first base, Jeff Nelson's going to walk out and talk to him.
Well, I thought the strike zone was a little stingy in the first when
might have
Tomlin
been.
was
well,
out there.
that's exactly what they're doing. They're looking and saying, what's a strike here? You know, normally pitchers and hitters will make adjustments to zones as the game goes on. There's one. He felt it was on the plate and it wasn't too high, obviously. Look at him. Where is it? What, are you kidding me? He's looking at his catcher. He really didn't say anything. He just wanted to know, let me know what's a strike. And, you know, his catcher's going to do that too. But you're right. Tomlin threw a pitch in there. If this is going to be a hitter's strike zone tonight like it looks like it is, it could be a long night.
There's a drive to center, but Granderson is right there to make the catch. And the inning comes to an end. No runs, a hit, 1 man left aboard. No score after 1.
Ohio Toyota dealers and by AT&T.
Can't ask for a much better day in downtown Cleveland and throughout northeastern Ohio. Plenty of sunshine and really wasn't too hot. You didn't have much humidity to deal with. It's just gorgeous. Nick Swisher will lead off for New York here in the second. Then it's Jorge Posada and Russell Martin. Swisher, a .248 hitter. 10 homers, 45 driven in. Off his foot.
This is the part of the lineup I want to keep an eye on for Josh Tomlin. The amazing thing, when you look at hitters 1 through 5 for him, they're hitting 193 off him. And then you look at the numbers 6 through 9, believe it or not, they're hitting 311 off him for whatever reason. But that seems to be a little strange.
Up too high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, didn't we speculate on that maybe you try to challenge those guys a little bit more, and perhaps that could be.
Yeah, but he pretty much challenges everybody, his style of pitching. You know, he throws strikes with the 3 or 4 different pitches.
And every year there are those stats that kind of have you scratch your head and you really can't figure them out. Now the 2-2. That's the way it's going to be all night. This guy's strike zone is going to be very small.
Well, and that's probably one of the toughest pitches to get called to strike are the pitches on the inside part of the plate. You see how Santana's glove did come down. He tried to bring it back and frame it. That's a tough pitch to get called anyway.
Swisher's out looking on that pitch. And now he's got them both talking to themselves, hitter and pitcher.
Well, you make adjustments. You go through that first time through, and if the pitcher knows he may be calling the low pitches, not the high pitches, you make adjustment as the game goes on. But that pitch right there, what's wrong with that? That's right there at the knees. It had plenty of plate. That's not low. It had the dish. You got nothing to argue about there as a hitter.
Mike Estabrook right now, he's in the crosshairs with everybody.
Well, that's all right. The one thing he's going to have to do is just stay consistent. You can't worry about guys complaining.
Because they will adjust, as you said, as long as you
make
stay.
The adjustment. You just stay right where you're at, and the hitter and pitcher will both make the adjustment.
Posada lines one to right field. Austin Kearns had him play perfectly, 2 down. All right, in the first inning, the Indians, of course, they've got the holiday uniforms. So the weekend and the holiday uniforms, you got the cream color.
Right. Well, Lonnie Chisenhall forgot to put the cream on. He's got it on in the second inning. In the first inning, that's the white, the home whites.
A lot of different combinations.
Little out of uniform. I can't believe his teammates let him go out there like that. But, Kangaroo Court, that's a fine, big boy. You're out there in wrong uniform. I want to know who found out and who had to tell him to go put on the right pants.
Somebody noticed.
Obviously.
Russell Martin trying to bunt his way aboard. Santana jumps on it, throws him out. Yankees go 1-2-3. And we go to the bottom of the second, no score. Independence Day in northeastern Ohio. Well, lots of folks taking advantage of the fantastic weather with the boats, hanging out on the beaches, and finishing things up with a Tribe Yankees game here at Progressive Field. Grady Sizemore, Orlando Cabrera, Lonnie Chisenhall for the Tribe here in the bottom half of inning 2. A.J. Burnett on the hill for New York.
I mean, does it get any better than this if you're a baseball fan? It's July 4th. You got the Yankees in town, and both teams are in first place, and a sold-out house. That's about as good as it gets right there.
Now, you played in some of those games at the old stadium where you had monster crowds because you had the room. You could, I mean, if we had a stadium that was 80,000, held 80,000, you might get close to 80,000 on a day like this.
I think the most that we ever played in front of was 72,000 on a July 4th game. Oh, excuse me. Tommy tells me, Teflon Tom tells me it was a July 3rd game. It wasn't the 4th, but it was 72,000.
He went and looked that up, and it was odd. You had the big crowd on the 3rd of July because the 4th of July that year was on a Friday, and they played a day game on a Friday on the 4th of July.
Okay.
Probably because they wanted everybody to be able to get home and see their fireworks. It's before they had the big fireworks extravaganzas that they have now at the ballparks. 1-1 pitch. He almost went after it, but he did not. 2 balls and a strike. Grady, 8 homers, 24 driven in, 18 doubles on the year. Missed outside, 3-1.
That's the one thing you want to try to get A.J. Burnett to do today is throw a lot of pitches early. If you can. Work him deep in the count. I want to see what pitch he has to go to when you get into hitters' counts.
Line towards center. But Granderson able to make the catch. Out number 1.
Well, that's what you look for right there.
How about a little 4th of July trivia? Brought to you by AT&T. 3 pitchers have pitched a no-hitter and have 100 or more career saves. Okay. Orlando Cabrera takes a look at a strike 1. Last 14 games, Orlando Cabrera has batted .360. And the last time the Indians faced these Yankees in New York, Orlando Cabrera reached his milestone of 2,000 career hits on June 12th. That hit off Freddie Garcia. And now in this series, he gets to watch Derek Jeter as he guns for career hit number 3,000. But Jeter will need 6 hits in the series to accomplish it. The 1-2 stays alive. There are those who believe that should Jeter have a couple of big games here and be, say, 1 hit shy going into Wednesday's series finale, that they might sit him because they want him to get the 3,000th hit at home.
Well, he'd have, you get 6 hits in 3 games, you're working it, and he's just coming back after missing 3 weeks. So,
in the dirt, 2-2.
You can almost see why they want him to get it in Yankee Stadium.
Sure, you would.
He'd be the first Yankee to get 3,000 hits.
Yep.
You told me they never had a 3,000 hit in old Yankee Stadium,
From
and
what
obviously
I understand,
even new.
no.
Yeah. So, I could see why they would do that.
Ground ball right at the second baseman, Cano. 2 down. 2 down, Lonnie Chisenhall coming to the plate. And for more on the Indians' rookie third baseman, here's Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, Rick Chisenhall's been up here in the majors for just about a week, and he told me the biggest help has really been having rookie Cord Phelps up here alongside of him. You know, those two were roommates back in Double-A, and he said it's really just given him a better sense of what to expect and help him adjust a little faster. Now, clearly, Cord forgot to tell him about the pants today, but the biggest piece of advice has been not to try to do too much while he's up here, and he says that's helped a ton.
It certainly helps when you dress the right way, though.
You just need a butler, that's all. Lonnie Chisenhall, 6 hits and 20 at bats. Big bouncer foul, first base side.
Well, it does help, too, when you get to the big leagues and you have somebody that, you came up through the minor leagues with. Makes you feel much more at home. And you notice they say roommates. They have roommates in the minor leagues. You get to the big leagues, you get your own room.
Now the 0-2. Ran it up high, and he popped it up right at the dish. Indians go in order. And after 2, there's no score here in Cleveland. Back here, top of the third. Want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see our Miller Taste Greatness moment. Divided we stand. Yankees, Indians fans. Yeah, they're never really going to be hugging and.
Well, there are a ton of Yankees fans out there, and they are a big draw when they come on the road.
Just about anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where. It's always fun to have them in, but it's always fun to beat them, too, when you can.
And Brett Gardner takes a strike over the outside corner, hitting .270 on the year.
This is the guy that had a pretty good series when we were in New York.
At the knees, a strike. It's 0-2.
You can see the 4 games there, 7 for 15. And I remember in that game where A.J. Burnett pitched that 1-0 game, he had 3 hits in the game already, and he tried to bunt with 2 strikes. And remember, he bunted that foul and struck out, and that was leading off the 7th inning. That was the Monday game.
Almost like he tried to outsmart everybody, including himself.
Well, he did, because they ended up getting him out. But I mean, he had a great game. Had 3 hits prior to that.
Well, that's called a ball. That looked like a pretty good pitch itself. 1-2 the count. And he got on top of that and lined it to right field. Austin Kearns makes the head-high grab for out number 1. Minor League Report is brought to you by Kia. Genmar Gomez last night in a 4-2 win went 8 innings, giving up just 2 runs on 105 pitches. He's gone 9-2 with the Columbus Clippers. How about that rotation? Zach McAllister, David Huff, Scott Barnes, and Gomez have combined to go 32-9 with a 3.12 ERA.
Yeah, that's
Scott Barnes,
kind
Rick.
of staff they have going.
Scott Barnes, the left-hander, has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. Has a 2.11 ERA during that stretch. David Huff 5-0 in his last 5 starts with an ERA just over 2. So yeah, they're all dealing, and that's why Columbus is 30 games above 500. They're 57-27.
They have more wins than any team in baseball, from top to bottom, major leagues all through the minor leagues.
.20 pitch popped in the air. Kearns and Sizemore converge. Grady says, "I'll take it." He does. 2 down.
Well, fill the house for charity. That'll be Wednesday. The Tribe will take on the Yankees, closing out that series. 7:05 start, and $1 from every ticket sold will be donated to the United Way of Greater Cleveland. Get your tickets at Indians.com, and remember, buy your tickets in advance for great savings.
Curtis Granderson walked his first time up. Driven foul up the first base side. And the 1-1. Rope foul. Almost the same spot. 1-2 the count.
Well, Curtis Granderson having a great year in that number 2 hole for the Yankees, leading the league in runs scored. Plus, power. Don't get upset. It's going to be like that all night.
You can hear the groans from the crowd.
Yeah, it was outside.
The 2-2. He reached for it. The flip is on the money, and the Yanks go in order again, and that's 9 in a row retired by Josh Tomlin. Gorgeous day here on the shores of Lake Erie. Turning into a perfect and pleasant 4th of July evening at the ballpark. Shelley Duncan, Austin Kearns, and Michael Brantley for the Indians here in the home half of inning number 3. Big fireworks extravaganza coming up after the game tonight. When you get the holiday falling the way it does, you get a lot of fireworks shows over the entire weekend.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure tonight's going to be something special here.
Big bouncer towards short. Derek Jeter off balance throw gets Duncan one down. Let's check in once again tonight with Katie Witham.
Well, guys, we have a spectacular fireworks display on set for tonight, the 4th of July, but also we've got fireworks again this Friday, July 8th, when the Indians take on the Toronto Blue Jays. You can get tickets starting at just $8. Log on at Indians.com right now. Also, it is half-price student ID night. It is going to be a great night, so get your tickets now for Friday, guys.
There's a long fly ball, deep left field. Gardner is back onto the track, and he will make the catch. 2 down. Back to the top of the order, Michael Brantley, who was called out on strikes to begin tonight's ball game for the Indians. Tribe happy to be back home, that's for sure. They've played just 38 home games this year in the American League Central Division. Only Minnesota has played fewer games at home so far. But they'll be making up for that with these last 7 here at home going into the All-Star break. Brantley looks at a strike outside edge. No score. Home half of the third. 2 down. Bases empty in the 1-1. Michael almost chased after it, but holds up. Tips the count back into his favor. Brantley, who was having some struggles offensively on that last road trip, has hit in his last 4 games coming in.
He had the one big hit Saturday, 3-run home run.
Slowly tapped toward second. And a 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Burnett. And he's retired 7 straight Indians hitters. No score after 3. Lead off the 4th inning for New York. He flied to center his first time up. Breaking ball downstairs. 42 pitches for Josh Tomlin. 24 of those have been strikes. He's had them out on the front foot a few times, hitting balls weakly to the outfield. That ball's popped up again. And here is Austin Kearns in right field. One down in the fourth. Log on to STOHD.com and you can buy a $20 gift card from Johnny Malloy's in Lakewood and get one free. Johnny Malloy's Kid Friendly features the best ribs in town along with award-winning pizza. Johnny Malloy's in Lakewood. Join them on their patio for your next happy hour. Bounce toward third. Lonnie Chisenhall slings it over, 2 down. It's going to bring up Robinson Cano. He flied out to center in his first trip to the plate. He'll start his second straight American League All-Star game. And he'll have some familiar components on the infield with him with Jeter and A-Rod.
Yeah, no kidding.
And a strike call to Robinson Cano. This is the kind of guy, as Jeter closes in on 3,000 hits, depending on health and longevity, you could see him one day piling up a ton of hits. I don't know if he'll get to 3,000 because you've just got to play so long to be able to get there.
Yeah, and you have to stay healthy. Boy, that's one of the keys. Can't miss much time at all. But, you know, he's the kind of guy, you get 200 hits a year like he's done in back-to-back years. You can pile them up in a hurry.
204 in 09, 200 exactly last year. First Yankees second baseman ever to record back-to-back 200-hit seasons, and the first in the majors to do it since our buddy Carlos Baerga did it in the early 90s. And talking about Cano and his ability to pile up the hits since his debut in 05, no major league second baseman has more hits.
He has such a good swing, and he stays, inside the baseball. He never gets very large with that swing, and he generates terrific bat speed.
Now the 2-2 from Tomlin. Got him. Josh Tomlin ate him up that time. Second strikeout for Josh, and he just continues to carve up these Yankee hitters. No score, bottom of the fourth inning at Progressive Field as Dribble Cabrera, Travis Hafner, and Carlos Santana do up here for the Tribe.
Well, these guys are dealing, aren't they? There's only one hit in the ball game. That was Cabrera's back in the first inning.
Pretty similar to the last time the Indians faced Burnett. Cabrera, routine bouncer to second. One quick out.
Send along some birthday wishes. Margaret Rail of Hamden, Ohio is 97 today. Margaret, happy birthday. Gene Williams of Port Clinton is 85. Sherry Callahan of Chesapeake, Virginia is turning 50, a big 5-0. Troy Williams Spikes of Findlay is 41. And Justin Christ of North Homestead is turning 8 today. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Travis Hafner drew a walk his last time up. Takes a strike outside edge.
It's all right, though. After that first guy leads off and swings at the first pitch, you don't want to give him 2 outs on 2 pitches. This is a guy you really want to try to make work, so Hafner takes that strike.
Now the 1-1. You can see with the shadows, and because of that, Russell Martin's got the almost like the whiteout nail polish on his fingers that he flashes the signs for so that Burnett can easily pick them up. And you pointed out he's in the direct sunlight, but he's looking into the catcher who's encased in shade behind the plate. So watch when he goes to flash the signs, you can see he's got those fingertips brightly painted.
Looks good. Flavor of the week.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Some catchers will tape their fingers up so you can see it, you know, and other catchers will paint the nails or get their manicures however they want to do it.
Almost like a knuckleballer will take such good care of his, well, he has to, or a knuckleballer, keep your fingernails strong. The 2-2. Hafner fouling it away. And the 2-2. Full count. He's had Hafner doing a little dancing in that box, hasn't he?
When you go in there, you got to go in there hard and don't let him hit anything, and he just knocked him out of his toe hold. That's not a bad pitch. See if he comes back with his curveball. He threw him a couple of breaking balls. Travis fouled one off that he caught a hanger on earlier. Coming fastball in. There comes the curveball.
Payoff pitch. And hanging in there. Hafner looks frustrated with himself.
No, that's the one thing you try to do. If you can get a piece of that good curveball and stay alive until hopefully you maybe get another fastball here, and he makes a mistake with it.
Let's see if he does get that mistake pitch here on the 3-2 from Burnett. Fastball at the knees, outside corner.
And a dandy.
Hafner doesn't like it.
That's a good pitch.
But that was just about as close to a perfect pitch as you're going to see.
Yeah, take a look at it on the Time Warner Cable pitch tracker. It's a fastball down at the knees and on the corner. Beautiful pitch. I mean, that's perfect. You don't pull the trigger, you walk back to the dugout. That's a very good pitch. Second strikeout. Both of them have been called.
Santana squared to bunt. Takes a pitch up high. Carlos fly to center in his first at bat. It was during that at bat that Burnett and Russell Martin both took issue with some of the non-strike calls by home plate umpire Mike Estabrook, and Santana had the count in his favor with a runner aboard and then flied out to end the inning. And since then, it's been smooth sailing for Burnett. He's retired 9 in a row. Oh, what a play by Teixeira. I don't know how he came up with that. A spectacular defensive gem by the Yankees first baseman. He takes at least a hit, if not extra bags, away from Carlos Santana.
Proud to fly the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, it's time to join the Hyundai movement. And by Panini's. Get overstuffed at any one of 18 locations in Northeast Ohio.
Well, this Independence Day here at Progressive Field has turned into a standoff between A.J. Burnett and Josh Tomlin. The Yankees right-hander has retired 10 straight Indians hitter, while Tomlin, as you see there, has retired a dozen straight Yankee hitters. Nick Swisher, called out on strikes his first time up, steps in. And a breaking ball in there for strike one.
And I think what we were talking about earlier, the adjustments have been made, by pitchers and by the hitters.
And now Swisher still not happy.
Well, there's that adjustment, right? He had a problem with him first time up. He quietly just steps back and speaks his piece, and he has a legitimate beef there. That ball looked like it was outside.
Now the 0-2. Ran it up high. I mean, Mike Estabrook's a young umpire, but he might just be sending word to Nick Swisher. It's like, if you're going to keep complaining, I'll keep calling him. Fouled out of play. Broke his bat. And Shelley Duncan crumbles to the ground, but a nice flip. One away. Let's send it back to the studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pulowski.
All right, Matt, Brick, let's go to Chicago where Kansas City's taking on the White Sox in the top of the first inning. Jeff Francoeur launches his 12th home run of the season. It's a 2-run shot. KC takes a 2-0 lead. They're now in the bottom of the second inning at U.S. Cellular Field. Back to you, Matt.
Okay, thanks, Al. Chicago began the day 3.5 games in back of the Indians in third place. Kansas City, 50 losses on the year, 11 games out. There's only one team with more losses this year than Kansas City, and that's the Houston Astros, who have the worst record in baseball at 29-56. Now, I didn't think Kansas City was going to be necessarily beaten down the door to a playoff spot this year, but I thought they'd be better than what they've shown so far.
Well, that first month they got off to a pretty good start, and a lot of it had to do with offensive numbers.
But you called it back in April when we were in Kansas City. You said, I just don't know if their starting pitching and their bullpen is going to be good enough. They had a lot of young arms and inexperienced arms in that bullpen, and you said that might be their Achilles heel. And they're breaking in a lot of young players.
Well, you just never know what to expect when so many young pitchers are out there, especially in the bullpen. They had they had all rookies but one. Joaquim Soria was the only one they didn't have as a rookie. Back when we played him earlier. You know, we faced him early in the year.
Seems like we haven't seen him in forever. I'm going to see a lot of the Central Division in the second half. Now the 2-2. Bloop toward left. But right there to make the catch is Michael Brantley. 2 gone in the 5th.
Send along a happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Harry Hawkins, celebrating their 59th wedding anniversary from New Waterford, Ohio. So, happy anniversary. 59, congratulations.
Russell Martin lines it to Orlando Cabrera, and the Yankees go 1-2-3 yet again. 15 straight set down by Tomlin. Yankees locked in a scoreless duel here, bottom of the 5th inning. You see there, the Indians have the only hit of the game. That came in the first inning when Asdrubal Cabrera got a base hit off the end of the bat into right field. The next man up, Travis Hafner, drew a walk. We haven't had a base runner since. Each pitcher has just dominated their opposing lineup since that first inning. Grady Sizemore lined out to center his first time up. And takes a strike.
A.J. Burnett has made 6 starts against the Central. This is number 7 coming in, and he is 2-3, but his ERA is at 2.21, so he's pitched very well. But the Yankees as a team, they're only 1 game over. They're 11-10 against Central Division foes. They've really made hay in the interleague play and also against the American League West, where they had 13-5 records against both the National League and the Western Division.
Our scoreboard update brought to you by your Northern Ohio Ford dealers and the all-new 2012 Ford Focus. Ford, drive one. Little tapper foul over toward the Yankee dugout. And the count evens at 2-2. Well, the teams that win usually don't simply dominate across the board. They find an opening or weakness, whatever you want to call it, and they exploit it. And so for the Yankees, interleague play and dominating the AL West has been their ticket. For the Indians so far this year, they played very well in interleague play. And they've played very well at home. I mean, that's been their...
Right. Their calling card is right. Well, you go back and you won 14 straight starting out the year after you lost your first 2. Then you come back and rip off 14 in a row. They got off to such a good start. Now it's just, go out there and keep your head above water.
Just fouled on the right side. And you look over in the National League, and you've got a couple of teams who are just dominating at home. Philadelphia's 32-14 at Citizens Bank Ballpark. In Milwaukee, tied with St. Louis in the Central, 29-11 home. Grady Sizemore draws a walk, and that stops the string of 10 in a row retired by A.J. Burnett.
Well, the Indians host the Blue Jays on Saturday, and the family can enjoy pregame Kids Fun Day activities along with the food and performances from other cultures at the International Festival. Following the game will be a fireworks show as well that's set to a British Invasion soundtrack. So tickets starting at just $8. Visit Indians.com.
Bounce to third. A-Rod had trouble getting it out of his glove. Goes to second for one. That's all they get. As Sizemore got down on top of Cano in a hurry. And so instead of the double play, the Indians have a runner at first with 1 out.
Just that little bobble where A-Rod couldn't get it out of his glove had enough to do where Cano couldn't turn the double play. Because it's just, it doesn't look like much. It's a half a step right there where he reached in, just didn't get it. That gave Grady enough time to get down onto the feet of Robinson Cano, and he wasn't able to make a throw. So, you look at it this way. Hey, that could be an extra out in the inning. And in a game like this, maybe you can take advantage of it. Sometimes the double play not turn are the ones that come back to haunt you.
Toss to first. Back standing is Orlando Cabrera. The 0-1. He tried to hold up, but he couldn't. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, another time he sees that curveball and he just can't hold back. You can see, couldn't check it. You know, the first time you face a pitcher, sometimes it takes a couple pitches like that to get used to it, to see the break. It's the name of the game is adjustments.
2-strike pitch. Downstairs, able to lay off.
There you go. You get the 2 strikes, you need to lay off of it. You see, I mean, major league pitchers, they will exploit they think you're going to swing at that pitch. You go after it, they'll come right back and do it again. Now, once you prove you lay off, you may get other pitches.
The last time they had him down on the count, they ran a fastball up out of the strike zone, and he chased after it and popped it straight up in the air for a foul out.
Well, they could do the same thing here after throwing curveball down.
That's
there
what they tried.
And he lays off.
Makes the adjustment, as you say.
So now you get yourself back into the count. You're 2-2. Now you just refocus and look for the baseball again and try and put it in play. Not sitting any specific pitch. Coming back with the hook, though.
2-2. Got him looking. Estabrook rings up Chisenhall. Third strikeout for A.J. Burnett. 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, and all to the left-handed hitters, and all have been called. But this time he's not going to bounce the hook. He's going to throw it for a strike. And he just doesn't pull the trigger. He thought he was going to go downstairs with it one more time, but he hits the strike zone, and he is called out.
Shelley Duncan bounced to short his first time up. And takes a fastball for a strike. Ron Smith celebrating his birthday tonight in Zanesville, Ohio. Aaron Hawker celebrating his 31st in Columbus Grove. Shannon Taylor of North Olmsted also celebrating her birthday tonight. And Scott Liston celebrating his 37th birthday tonight in Ashland, Ohio. So congratulations and happy birthday wishes to one and all. Orlando Cabrera taking his lead at first. He's drawn some interest from Burnett, and another throw over. Fouled that off of his foot. Toronto beat Boston earlier 9-7, a slugfest as the Blue Jays out-hit Boston 13-11 in the game. Minnesota shut out Tampa 7-0, and Seattle beat Oakland 2-1. Cabrera takes off, and Duncan fouls the 2-strike pitch over toward the Terrace Club. Shelley Duncan, who played for this Yankee organization. Trying to do some damage here with 2 outs and down on the count 0-2. This time Cabrera holds and Duncan strikes out. We've played 5 innings here at Progressive Field, and these two teams have combined for exactly 1 hit. By Miller High Life. This summer, find out how giving back bottle caps can give returning vets a piece of the high life. Go to MillerHighLife.com for all the details. Sold out house tonight here at Progressive Field. And they've been treated to two pitchers who are locked in, throwing a lot of strikes. They've had hitters off balance. What's interesting to me, Rick, watching this game, it's not like these guys are throwing it by people or they're completely baffling them with a dazzling array of strikeouts. They just had hitters in between and popping it up or hitting it weakly on the ground.
Yeah, the art of pitching.
Yeah.
Keep them off the barrel of the bat. Keep them a little bit out front or a little bit behind.
Two guys have really been masters, at least tonight, of throwing off the timing mechanism of the hitters.
Well, Tomlin has 3 fly balls to center, 3 fly balls to right.
Brett Gardner, who lined out to right field his first time up, has the count even at 1-1. Just foul first base side. Now, one thing about Josh Tomlin, he has been about as consistent a pitcher as we have seen in a long, long time, as far as, from rookie to this, just his second year in the big leagues.
Well, actually,
it takes guys usually a while to get that level of consistency, and he seemed to have mastered it already. Down low, 2-2.
His first major league start came last July against the Yankees right here. It was July 20th something.
July 27th.
July 27th. So actually, sure, this is going to be his second year in the big leagues, but actually his first full year when you look at it.
That's a good way of looking at it, right?
And he just continues to go out there and throw strikes and keep hitters off balance. He's got a feel for the game of pitching, changing speeds and never throwing the same pitch twice. And, as you go through the league, hitters will get used to you a little bit once they face you 3-4 times. But he's done a remarkable job. He goes out there and just continues to throw strikes. Keeps his pitch count down.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. That's 3 Ks for Tomlin. 1 down here in the 6th inning. 16 in a row now set down by Josh Tomlin. And he now has the record as far as we can go back and check. He's pitched at least 5 innings in each of his first 29 career appearances. Pretty amazing. Game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Wow, that's remarkable. Truly is, and Josh will tell you right there, he's looking for W's after his name.
Slowly tapped to third. Lonnie Chisenhall fires it over. 2 down. Derek Jeter 0 for 3 tonight. That'll bring up Curtis Granderson, who walked in the first inning, and that's the last base runner in this game for New York. High for ball 1. Just missed there. 2 balls, no strikes. And Curtis Granderson took a big hack. Came up empty. 70 pitches now for Josh Tomlin tonight. 43 of those have been strikes.
He didn't give in. He threw him a little cutter there.
Fouled off. Well, what he and A.J. Burnett both have done a good job of tonight, and it's something we talked about yesterday in Cincinnati with Mitch Talbot. He has stayed out of the middle of the plate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even when you're behind in the count, they've been able to make quality pitches when they've been behind as pitchers.
The 2-2. Got him looking. Tomlin continues to mow him down. 18 straight Yankee hitters have been retired by the Indians' right-hander. Maximum tonight, Indians, Yankees on this Independence Day. There are tickets remaining for both tomorrow and Wednesday's games. I guess there was some misinformation that might have been out there, folks thinking that the whole series was sold out. Just tonight's game sold out. So tickets remain for both tomorrow and for Wednesday. Lots of good seats still readily available. So if you're thinking about it or you were wondering, come on down.
Lots of good baseball as well. You got CC Sabathia and Carlos Carrasco going at it tomorrow. How about that pitching matchup?
Might not be two better pitchers in the American League going right now as far as where these two guys are at, both throwing the ball. Well, CC's got 11 wins, and we've watched Carlos just deal for about a month straight now.
There is a guy named Justin Verlander out there, too, that we can't forget, but this kid has been dealing.
That's hit in the air to right field. Long run for Swisher. Racing back on the track. He pulls it down. 2 away. Austin Kearns might have the two hardest hit balls in this game, but both of them dying on the warning track tonight. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question tonight. 3 pitchers have fired a no-hitter and have 100 career saves.
Well,
I'm thinking Dennis Eckersley has to be one, right?
Dave Righetti's got to be one, too.
Rags.
Yeah.
And Jose Jimenez. Already. Got about him. Michael Brantley looks at a strike. Brantley struck out looking in the first, grounded out the second, his last time up in the third. Almost hit him. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe he got out of the way of it. Looked like it went in between his legs as he jumped back. Watch those feet get up and get out of the way. It was close.
He's got some spiffy shoes there, doesn't he, Michael? Today, got the blue, the red laces.
Well, it's July 4th, man.
Yeah, he's going with the holiday apparel. I like it.
Red, white, and blue.
And he couldn't help himself. That's 5 strikeouts for Burnett, 2 down here in the 6th inning. Time now for our Miller Taste Greatness moment on this date in 2006 here against the Yankees. The Indians absolutely demolished the Bronx Bombers. They beat them 19-1, one of the worst beatings they've ever experienced on this 4th of July holiday. And, you know, George Steinbrenner's birthday, 4th of July.
Right.
So
Yes, it was. Yes, it is.
the Yankees usually played pretty well, but not that day. As Drupal Cabrera 1 for 2, his single in the first, the only hit in this game. Quickly 0-2 the count. Up high with the heater. A.J. Burnett has had his moments at times this year, but we have seen him probably at his absolute best. Curveball bloop toward left field. Fair ball. And his dribble will turn and burn. He's into second base easily with a 2-out double.
Yeah, not a bad pitch by Burnett. Just a better job of hitting the baseball by Cabrera. He's able to find a hole down the left field line. Stayed inside of it. And he bloops it down there. I mean, it was a hanging breaker ball. What happened, that made it a little easier for Asdrubal to take it the other way. But didn't hit it hard. Placement was perfect. His 22nd double. Now the Indians with a chance. With 2 outs, they have a runner in scoring position. First time tonight that anybody has been in scoring position.
So Travis Hafner steps in. 0 for 1. He walked in the first, struck out his last time up. The Yankees have a quasi shift on for Hafner.
We'll see if Burnett, I don't think he'll go at Hafner with the rookie Santana on deck, really. I think if he's going to be careful, it'll be right here in this at-bat with first base open. There are 2 outs. You may see a few curveballs coming his way.
And the 1-0 pitch. He went at him with a heater.
Yeah, he did.
Hafner trying to bring home the first run of this game. And there's a fly ball left field. Gardner will make the catch and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, 1 man left aboard. We go to the 7th, still no score.
Now between the Yankees and the Indians, it is the top of the 7th inning. We want to remind you the Toronto Blue Jays will be in town starting Thursday, July 7th. Every fan that comes to the game on Thursday will receive a free t-shirt courtesy of the Plain Dealer. And then Sunday, we have KeyBank Kids Fun Day going on. Jungle Terry will be here doing an animal show. There's all brand new activities out on the Gateway Plaza, and kids can stay to move it around the bases afterwards, sponsored by the Cleveland Clinic. Get your tickets now for Thursday and Sunday. Log on to Indians.com. You can get tickets as low as $8. Matt, Rick will send it back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Katie. 7th inning. Josh Tomlin facing Mark Teixeira. And the pitch is inside for ball 1.
That was just pitch number 73 for Josh Tomlin.
Now the 2-0. And Teixeira looks at a strike to make the count 2-1. 75 tosses for Tomlin, and he's been his very typical self tonight. That ball ripped up the middle in the first hit of the game, allowed by Josh Tomlin, comes here in the 7th inning. Skipped right off the top of the mound into center field. Still a heck of an effort once again by Josh Tomlin.
Yeah, fans going to give him a little ovation here. It was a very nice job by Josh going into the 7th. But you can see that approach there by Mark Teixeira. Took the 2-0 pitch for a strike and then just goes right back up the middle. Didn't try and do too much. That was not a bad pitch by Tomlin, but he stayed on it and took it right back where it came from. So the Yankees get their first hit.
Alex Rodriguez looks at a strike. Down low. 1-1 to count. Josh Tomlin retired 18 Yankee hitters in a row before that hit by Mark Teixeira. Now the 1-1. Check the swing, and it's a foul. 1-2. He's during that stretch, he was able to retire 9 Yankee hitters on 3 pitches or less. So he has been a model of efficiency the way he's gone after it here tonight.
You're right. It showed the pitches per inning, and he had 17 in the first. That's because there was an error and a walk in that inning. But, you know, that's how he does it every game, man. 13 pitches, 11. He can go out there and have a 8 or a 9 pitch inning. And looking for a ground ball here.
Popped him up foul. Had him off balance again, but he stays alive by putting that up into the seats. Santana calling for the off-speed pitch here. And the 1-2. Got him. He went chasing. And that's 5 strikeouts for Tomlin. 1 down here in the 7th. You know, it was interesting, Rick. He initially called for the fastball, and Tomlin said no. And he got the off-speed, the slider down and away.
Yes, he did. He went with that slider. Get it away, and it was off the plate. He had a 1-2 count, so there's no reason to mess around inside. And if he wants to hit that pitch or go with it, you're pretty much going to hit it on the ground. That's what he was looking for, but he chased it. Came up empty. He gets the strikeout.
Robinson Cano for 2. Fly to center and has struck out. Breaking ball hit weakly toward third. That's
Nothing
going to
you
stay
can do.
fair.
Yeah. Put it in
And
your
Chisenhall
pocket.
has to hold on to it.
Put it in your pocket. Nothing you can do. He made a good pitch. You can see there's the smiles coming out by Cano. Boy, it's like a perfect bunt.
Well,
You know,
at least he
was-
gave up a legitimate hit earlier in the inning, and that
Yeah.
wasn't the first one he allowed.
He did, too. He made it just elevated, and he just tops the ball, and it stayed fair. It didn't have any chance of rolling foul, so Chisenhall just picks it up. He wasn't going to get anybody, so put it in your pocket. Second hit in the inning. There's first and second now with one out, and that's what you do. You just smile and say, that's beautiful. I'll take it.
And so now Nick Swisher to the plate. Now Swisher is 0 for 2 tonight. And in each of his first 2 plate appearances, he and Mike Estabrook have, not only have they not been on the same page, they're in different classrooms. And he lines it toward left center field in the gap. Third hit of the inning, and the Yankees are going to score 2 and take a 2-0 lead. So Nick Swisher took the umpire out of the equation in this at bat, and he lines an opposite field 2-run double to left. Perfectly placed in the gap. And just like that, New York has a 2-0 lead.
Well, you can see in this inning they're starting to maybe use the whole field now and stay on it a lot more. There was a little two-seamer that he turns over, and that was a good swing. Swisher got a ball out over the plate. He didn't try and turn on it. He just hit it where it was pitched, and he found the gap in left center field. Cano can come all the way around from first, so the Yankees are on top now, 2-0. For Swisher, his 46th and 47th RBI.
And now Jorge Posada 0 for 2. Bouncing ball to first. Big hop for Duncan. He'll flip it. Tomlin gets out number 2. Swisher goes to third. Russell Martin 0 for 2. And a strike to the outside edge. Martin tried to bunt his way on in the second inning, was thrown out. Last time up, he had a liner right at second baseman Orlando Cabrera. So Josh Tomlin carried a no-hitter into this 7th inning. And then Mark Teixeira led off the inning with a base hit. 1 out later, a little topper up the third baseline, netted a second hit in the inning. And then Nick Swisher lined a perfectly placed double to left center. And the Yankees have a 2-0 lead, 1-1 outside. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Josh Tomlin has really pitched a gem here tonight. The 2-2. Little tapper back to the mound. He'll fire it over to first to end the inning. But New York has taken a 2-0 lead now as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic. Indians fans, it's time to get up and let's move it. by any one of your 18 Northeastern Ohio locations for a panini and get yourself overstuffed. You can also log on to paninisgrill.com to find the nearest location to you. So the Indians find themselves down a pair. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Carlos Santana, Grady Sizemore, and Orlando Cabrera will be due up.
We'll see if they can bounce back and answer that 2-run inning that the Yankees put on. They got 3 hits in the inning, and it was that Cano hit that really got it rolling, or kept it rolling, that little swinging bunt base hit. Then the Swisher double in the gap. Get that leadoff man aboard and see if he can get it rolling.
Carlos Santana has flied to center. And then his last time up, he was robbed of a hit on a terrific play at first made by Mark Teixeira. Santana hit a one-hop bullet down to first, and Teixeira went to the dirt and somehow corralled it with a backhanded grab. Routine play here, 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Grady Sizemore 0 for 1 with a walk. Grady walked to lead off the 5th inning. But nothing came of it for the Tribe. A little bit high for ball 1. Up too high, 2 balls, no strikes. "51 of his 87 pitches have been strikes tonight for A.J. Burnett, but he walked Sizemore's last time up. And on the 2-0, Grady might have helped him out there, 2-1. The 2-1. Count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Tribe down 2-0. '90th pitch of the night coming up here for Burnett. Yankees outfield shading Sizemore the other way toward left. Bounced it in there, full count.
Well, you can see he was upset with himself. He felt that if he could make that pitch, that was the one he wanted to go with, the curveball. He just bounced it. 2-run lead here. I figure you got to go with a fastball, don't you? Fastball away.
That's what they have decided. And he missed his location badly. And it's ball 4. So a 1-out walk will bring up Orlando Cabrera. Second time Sizemore has walked tonight. Sports Time Ohio and Jimmy Hanlon want you to play golf at 10 of the best courses in Northeastern Ohio. You'll get a chance to play each of the 10 for as little as $25 a piece. Now, the card costs $49.95, so it pays for itself if you play twice. Little Mountain, Stonewater, Aurora Country Club, Sweetbriar, Peak and Peak, Whispering Woods, Shale Creek, Ashland Country Club. Log on to STOHD.com, visit the marketplace, and purchase your Tee It Up Ohio golf card today. Orlando Cabrera 0 for 2 here tonight. See if Cabrera can come up with a big hit and try to put some pressure on Burnett. Because he has pretty much been free and easy all night, even though
it was
a scoreless duel up until the top half of this inning.
Well, at one time they had a runner in scoring position. That came with 2 outs last inning.
Yeah.
The Cabrera double. Other than that, that's it. He has been free and easy as right. They haven't been able to double up. Only 2 hits, and Cabrera has both of them.
And Orlando waves at a ball in the other batter's box. 2 down. Six strikeouts for A.J. Burnett, and with 2 down, it's going to bring up Lonnie Chisenhall as you get another look.
Yeah, that one just nowhere near it. He was just swinging at it before it left his hand. Out of the strike zone, he gets strikeout number 6.
Now, Lonnie Chisenhall has fouled out and been called out on strikes. You talk about baseball being that game of making adjustments, pitch to pitch, at bat to at bat. Chisenhall trying to turn the tables on Burnett here, 3rd time around. But he pops it up. Alex Rodriguez into foul ground, and he almost ran into Gardner, who drops the ball. Couldn't come up with it.
You know, that's just a tough play for, it doesn't matter who, because as a third baseman, you're running with your back to the infield, and the left fielder, Gardner, who can flat out run, he's just not sure that he could get there, so you can't call for the ball. And you don't want to collide. You see, there goes A-Rod going back. In come Gardner. They can't take their eye off the ball, so you got to avoid the collision. That's just, that's a break there for Chisenhall. Nobody could get there. It falls. Just a strike.
You could see A-Rod pull off at the last moment. That must have been when he heard Gardner call for it. 1-1. In the dirt, gets away, and that'll allow Sizemore to move into scoring position on the wild pitch.
Well, that helps because that's number 13 for him. He can always bounce that curveball. That's the one thing you always have to be ready on the bases with Burnett on the mound. There's the curveball. Martin couldn't keep it in front of him. Ricochets off, so Grady into scoring position. You know, the times that he's thrown Chisenhall a fastball today, he's elevated it above the belt. It's okay, Lonnie's just got to make him get that fastball down right now with the count in his favor and take the breaking ball. If he throws it for a strike, it's okay. Now you only go to 2-2. But you're looking for a fastball, but make it belled high or down.
The 2-1. Chisenhall bloops it, and that will find the seats.
See, he's elevating it to him, and he's having a tough time catching up to it. You see, it's about belt high, maybe a little bit above.
Yeah.
And that swing, you know, he's got the left-handed swing that's got a little elevation to it, little upswing, and he just can't catch it.
Bounced toward first. Oh, what did it hit? Hit the lip.
Hit the lip over there, right at the cut.
I think it shot straight up in the air, didn't it?
Around first base. Yes, it did. It came back to Scherer was telling the umpire at first, Jeff Nelson, about it.
So a runner at second, 2 down, and a 2-2 count for Chisenhall. Tribe down 2. And it's down and in, full count.
This one was down at his feet, so he was able to just pick it up quickly enough where he could just take it and didn't get it started. If that was away, he might have went after it.
Shelley Duncan waits on deck. Activity in the Tribe bullpen. .100 pitches on the night exactly for A.J. Burnett. 59 have been for strikes. And a 3-2 pitch. right back to the screen. He had a good cut at that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Burnett and Chisenhall locking horns here in the 7th. 3-2 pitch. High, ball 4, and the tying run is aboard. 2 walks in the inning. It's going to bring up Shelley Duncan. Duncan 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Yankees making the call, and their bullpen will now start to get busy as Burnett has just crossed the 100-pitch threshold for this evening. Now, it looked like last time up, Rick, Duncan was unable to lay off that slider.
Well, he's going to see it again in this at bat. Starts him off with the breaking ball. That's the reason why he went at Chisenhall with something upstairs, trying to get him to swing at it. It was a little too high. There's Boone Logan, the left-hander. But this is certainly A.J. Burnett's game right now. He's got the 2 right-handers before you flip it over to the top of the lineup, and he's saying, go get him, because he walked the guys on base, both Sizemore and Chisenhall. Still, he hasn't been in any trouble today.
The 0-1 pitch, and it's 0-2.
Well, now Duncan's got to readjust his game plan because he's down 0-2. And he may not even see a breaking ball in the zone. They're going to try and get him to chase like he did last time. Martin just went out. Conversation with Burnett. They're on the same page. He will get back. They may not even give a sign.
The 0-2 pitch. And he yanked it foul. He caught a break there because Martin wanted that ball away, and he got a lot of the plate with it.
That's what I'm saying. When you mess around, you can make mistakes with breaking balls. You've seen 9 pitches tonight, Duncan, and all 9 have been strikes. See, there's one he left middle of the plate. You see when that body moves back, you've got to make sure. But now, again, he could bounce that ball, too. And you could move the runners up if he tries to go too far outside. But, you don't give him a fastball to hit.
They want this one up high. And Duncan lays off.
That's just a show pitch to get back to where he wants to get him out with the breaking ball. And that's what you wanted to do. That's where he wanted that breaking ball that he called for before. We just give it to me away, and he's going to chase it.
Duncan, a dead pull hitter. Came back again and he missed his location. That time it hung almost inside.
He's not trying to throw that ball in there.
No.
He's trying to throw that breaking ball down and away off the plate. He just gets under it, and that thing just spins right there. It wasn't even more of a backup breaking ball. But Duncan's approach, he's not shortening that swing by any means. And that's what the 2 catchers right there are talking about.
He wanted it down. He threw that one in the dirt, and it's 2-2. It's funny how sometimes when you're trying to be careful, you make mistakes in the middle of the plate, and that's what he's gotten away with a couple of times here in this at-bat. And now, another 2-2 pitch. Punches it the other way. Right field, Swisher on the run. Can't get there. Sizemore scores. Chisenhall into third. A 2-out RBI single by Shelley Duncan. He just punched that to the opposite field, and the Indians are on the board. It's a 1-run game, and the tying run just 90 feet away.
Great for Shelley Duncan, man. I'll tell you, that was beautiful. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it because he did make the adjustment. He did give in, and he just caught a little fastball that was off the plate. Wasn't even for a strike, but you see the difference. He let it track deep into the zone, just slapped it the other way, and it falls in for a base hit. So they finally get the hit. There were 2 outs. Grady comes in to score. They cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Nice job by Shelley Duncan. That's what you have to do when you get to 2 strikes. You know, he hung him a couple breaking balls and and he fouled them off, but he got the mistake of the fastball out over the plate. They just flared it in, and this is going to be Burnett's last hitter one way or the other.
All right, so Austin Kearns 0 for 2. Now, Kearns tonight fly to deep left in the 3rd. He hit the ball just too high to get it out of here, but he squared it up pretty well. And then in the 6th inning, he went to right field and put Swisher, who was on the dead run, onto the warning track. Base hit here ties the game. And it's low, ball 1. Michael Brantley would be next.
I give the Indians credit, man. They worked. They got a couple of walks in that inning to get on base. They scratch and claw their way through to get a base hit. And they came back and answered the 2 runs. And this could be, they need some of their home field magic right now.
1-0 pitch. Kearns with a high fly ball right field. Back goes Swisher. Still going back. He's out of room. It's out of here. Austin Kearns. A 2-out, 3-run homer. And the Indians have the lead. I told you he'd hit 2 of the hardest balls in this game earlier, but had nothing to show for it. This time, he got all of it.
Wow. This is his first home run of the year. And this is going to be our replay from great clips, great needs, great deeds, great clips, and a great swing. And that ball carried over the head of Swisher, gets over the line. 3-run homer. The Indians take a lead. Look at that. He is pumped right there. That's a good feeling.
Now Michael Brantley takes a strike, and you have to believe A.J. Burnett is a little shell-shocked right now. Fouled off by Brantley. It's 0-2.
Well, I don't know if Austin Kearns could have picked a better time to hit his first home run than a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th to give your team the lead. And, I mean, that felt good for him. You know that.
Still a long way to go in this one. But for the moment, that's about as big a hit as we've had this year, I would think. And we've had a lot of big ones.
That's the 15th home run given up by A.J. Burnett.
Brantley with a ground ball to second. And Cano throws him out. Austin Kearns. His first home run of the year is a 2-out, 3-run blast that puts the Indians on top. What a turn of events here as we go now to the 8th inning. Tribe on top 4-2. And the Indians will make the call to the bullpen. It's brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. And Josh Tomlin is now in line for the win if the bullpen can hang on.
Well, you're looking at the two best bullpens in the league. The Yankees lead it with the best ERA. The Indians right behind them. And they're going to turn the 8th inning over to Tony Sipp for the 38th time. He's coming on to face Gardner, Jeter, Granderson.
Got some defensive changes to tell you about for the Indians. There's Josh Tomlin, who's out of the game now. Jack Hanahan has come on defensively to play at first base. And he's been dynamite defensively this year, whether it's been at third or in the brief times we've seen him at first, he's been very good as well. Brett Gardner will lead off for New York. Lefty-lefty matchup here, and a pitch is up high, ball one. Gardner lined to right and has struck out tonight. And Sipp fires a fastball for a strike. And there is Ann Feller, the widow of the late, great Bob Feller, who passed away this past winter, taking in a 4th of July ball game here at Progressive Field.
And I'm sure enjoying what you just saw in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Yeah.
No doubt.
The 1-1. Beautiful pitch by Sipp, and he gets ahead 1-2 the count. Now the 1-2. Almost chased after it. Well, you talk about having quality at bats when you go to the plate. And in that 7th inning for the Indians, Lonnie Chisenhall had an 8-pitch at bat and drew a walk. Grady Sizemore had a 6-pitch at bat, drew a walk. Shelley Duncan had a 7-pitch at bat, and of course had the big RBI single.
That was a very good at bat.
That cumulative effect, too, making him throw a lot of pitchers deep in the game, getting a little tired.
He was down 0-2 in the count, man, and they didn't chase a fastball up. He let him spin on a breaking ball until he got a fastball, and that was a huge at-bat. And then Kearns, of course, had the best at-bats of the night down there in the number 9 hole, and then finally left the yard. Hit one to left you thought was going out, hit a bullet to right center field, and then finally left the yard with 2 aboard. Huge hit for him. And that's what the Indians did early. They hit when they needed it.
The 2-2. Gardner fights it off. Rick, the first 2 months of the season, you're right. They would need a hit in the 7th inning, they'd get it. 8th inning, they'd get it.
At home,
it didn't matter.
Well, and somebody would come up, with a big base hit. They hit with runners in scoring position. Timely hitting. Timely hitting is the key. But now they turn it over to their bullpen, and their bullpen has been one of the best. So they're going to have their work cut out for him because this guy's a tough out here. This is when he battles.
Yes.
His best is trying to get him out, and he's trying to get on.
Got him looking. Painted the outside corner with a fastball. And Tony Sipp disposes of Brett Gardner for out number 1.
Well, Sipp coming on just for one hitter, huh? Man, he made the change. And look at that. Fastball away. He's upset he didn't pull the trigger. He might have been looking for the breaking ball. He gets the express.
Well, Manny can go matchup now, Rick, because Tomlin did such a great job getting deep into the game. And so Manny figures he's going to fire all his big guns here at the end. And Vinny Pistano sprinting in. Yankees batting in the 8th. And with one out, Derek Jeter coming to the plate. Vinny Pistano on for the 34th time this year. A win, no losses, ERA 1.47. And he'll be facing a hitless Derek Jeter, 0 for 3 on the night. Swung on and missed. Jeter steps away. He hit a little tapper towards third in the first inning that Lonnie Chisenhall was charging in and misplayed for an error. Then he flied to center in the third and hit a routine ground ball to third base in the 6th. His first game back from the disabled list for the Yankees captain. And fouled right back to the screen. 1-2 the count. Fastball away, and the 1-2. Got a lot of the plate, but it's foul. Rick, you and I were looking at the numbers earlier, and I don't know if they're just numbers or if there's more to it, but the Yankees, while Jeter was out, played very good. They were 15-5 with him out of the lineup. They averaged almost a full run more per game offensively. You think there's anything to that, or is it just they were in a hot stretch and they're a good team regardless?
You know, they played well.
Bloop to short, caught by Cabrera. 2 down.
Hard to say, but it's a combination. When your pitchers, they've got enough weapons where if one guy goes down, they've got a lot of surrounding help. You know what I mean?
He's not the make or break piece of the puzzle.
No, he is not. I mean, you know, it could very easily happen.
But to suggest they're a better team without him, I think that's going a little too far also.
I definitely agree.
Curtis Granderson looks at a ball outside. Granderson, when he walked in the first inning, the next Yankee to reach base against Josh Tomlin was Mark Teixeira, who singled to start the 7th. Josh Tomlin, after walking Granderson, the second batter of the game in the first inning, retired the next 18 Yankees in a row. Popped him up back out of play. Pistano ready with the 2-1. And that's drilled and gone. And it's a 1-run game. Well, Manny Acta, when he went to the right-hander Pistano, he knew he was going to have to face the left-handed hitting Curtis Granderson, who's been having a huge year hitting the long ball, but he liked his chances with that matchup. But Granderson takes him deep.
23rd time this year he's been able to run around the bases. That's all right. You don't walk him. You give up that solo home run, makes it a 1-run ball game, but that pitch is right down Broadway. And this guy hasn't missed many of those this year. He has had some kind of year. And it's a 4-3 game. You know the Yankees would be back.
Mark Teixeira, 1 for 3. Takes it a little bit outside, 1-1. And a strike is called. The count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down in the 8th inning. Foul back out of play. Now the 1-2. Oh, just missed outside. Very close. Tried to shave the outside part of the plate. Ground ball towards first. Big hop, and what a grab by Hanahan. Takes it himself to end the inning. Curtis Granderson with a solo homer gets the Yankees to within a run. We go to the last of the 8th. It's 4-3 Cleveland. $40,676 have jammed Progressive Field tonight. 3rd sellout of the season, and they've watched a dandy. A great pitcher's duel for 6 innings, and then in the 7th, the offenses took over. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Tribe on top 4-3. Corey Wade, right-hander, coming on for New York. He'll be facing Asdrubal Cabrera, Travis Hafner, and Carlos Santana, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Indians here tonight.
Wade, a guy that had 82 career appearances over with the Los Angeles Dodgers from 08 and 9. Drafted in 2004, making his 8th appearance with the Yankees.
Asdrubal fouls it back. He punches one to right field. Back goes Swisher. And he'll make the catch. 1 away. Our in-game box score is brought to you by Hyundai. Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-In Value Guarantee. Brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Asdrubal Cabrera, the 2 hits. Shelley Duncan had a huge at-bat for an RBI single. And, of course, Austin Kearns, the 2-out, 3-run homer. Travis Hafner 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Chris Perez heating up in the Indians bullpen. Indians Yankees game 1 of this 3-game series. Remember, there are still plenty of seats available for tomorrow night and Wednesday.
Boy, if it's anything like tonight, I mean, you don't want to miss it.
And the weather looks like it's going to be outstanding all week long. So
Carrasco against Sabathia tomorrow night at 7.
If you can't get down here to the yard, we'll have it for you. Tomorrow night on Sports Time Ohio. Ground ball headed up the middle. This might find the right spot. Cano can't make a play, and Hafner is aboard with an infield single. There's a case where the shift really cost the Yankees any chance to get Pronk.
Yeah, you're not banking on him hitting a little soft ground ball sort of up the middle. Some teams will bring that shortstop all the way over to the second base side. If that's the case, they had it. But where Jeter's playing here, now if they had him over on the right side, it's an out. But they did not. They choose to keep him on the shortstop side, so it goes as a base hit for Hafner. 5 hits now for the Indians.
Carlos Santana 0 for 3 tonight. Looks at a ball outside. Really pulled the string on Santana that time, 1-1. By the way, before we get too far along here, Tommy Bowe went back and checked your numbers on the 4th of July, see what kind of a Independence Day player you were.
We'll talk about that next year.
There's a drive deep left field. Gardner back. He's looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Carlos Santana gives the Indians a little breathing room. His 13th home run of the year. And it's a 6-3 Indians lead.
Boy, I don't know if you could find just a prettier swing than right there on a breaking ball. He stayed on it and shot it out of here to left field. That, my friend, was beautiful. Nice swing. They want to see the replay. Look at the guys in the dugout want to see it. I mean, he picked it up. It might have been about mid-thigh, but boy, he stayed on it. If he has a stroke like that, and I mean, that ball shoots out of here. For Santana, that's going to be his 13th home run, and boy, there's a piece of the rock. There's some insurance right there for you.
Grady Sizemore takes a strike.
Boy, a couple of big home runs for the Tribe today.
Well, all they needed was a little home cooking. We talked about it earlier. Get back home where they have played so well all year long. 10 games above 500 this year at Progressive Field, 24-14. And they've been a much better team hitting at home.
Boy, I know one thing. Bruce Fields is going to go to that tape room and say, Carlos, I want you to watch this swing.
Yeah.
And the way he stayed on it was beautiful.
The Indians have now hit 53 homers at home this year, 24 on the road.
Yeah. It has been remarkable. There's the notes. And we'll go in there, and they'll keep an eye on that swing for a long time.
Is that something, that one swing, that a point of reference now for Santana that he can use?
It be? When you can hit a breaking ball and take it out to left field, that means you are staying back and you let that ball get in. Even if it was elevated, a lot of times you'll be out in front. Boy, he waited on that beautifully, and he stroked it the other way. That was picture perfect.
Grounded to short. Derek Jeter throws out Orlando Cabrera. We will go to the 9th on this Independence Day in Cleveland with the Tribe on top 6-3 thanks to Santana's 2-run homer. All kinds of changes here as we go to the ninth inning, or the bottom of the, as we go to the ninth inning here. You've got Chris Perez now pitching. Try for save number 20. Now Lou Marson has come into the game. He's behind the dish. Carlos Santana goes from behind the plate down to first base. And Jack Hannahan goes from first base over to third base. Alex Rodriguez leading off for New York, 0 for 3 tonight. A-Rod with a bouncer toward short. As Dribble Cabrera throws him out, one away. Stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. It comes your way right after we wrap things up here tonight. Robinson Cano had a little infield single and came around to score in the 7th inning for New York. Shoots that out of play. Stay tuned for Chuck's last call best of clips coming up after the postgame show tonight. Strike called, 0-2. Perez with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to get ahead. Normal start time tomorrow. We're back at 7 o'clock. Indians-Yankees game 2. And another great pitching matchup. Tickets available if you want to come down to the yard and check it out. If not, we'll have it for you here on STO. As Carlos Carrasco squares off against CC Sabathia. Chris Perez ready with the 0-2. And Cano punches it high in the air to left. Michael Brantley settling under it, 2 down. $40,676. Most of them in Indians gear, but as is always the case, a lot of Yankee fans here tonight. And Tribe fans taking great delight in the fact that they've got the lead here with 2 down in the 9th inning.
Well, it'd be a great way to kick off your last week before the All-Star break with a win right here.
Nick Swisher goes after the first pitch, pops it up. Out goes Hannahan. He's calling for it. And he makes the catch to end the game. The Tribe comes from behind to beat the New York Yankees tonight by a final score of 6-3. Josh Tomlin wins it. He's 10-4 for the Indians. Chris Perez saves it. And for Chris Perez, that is his 20th save on the year. Losing pitcher A.J. Burnett, he drops to 8-7. With the win, the Indians are now 45-38. New York with the loss drops to 50-33. Indians using the long ball tonight. A couple of big home runs. And it's time now for our play of the game. Brought to you by KeyBank. Thanks for making KeyBank the #1 bank in Northeastern Ohio.
Boy, what a game it was. I'll tell you what, they were down to 2 outs and 2 walks, and then Duncan gets a big hit. But, I mean, right now, Austin Kearns shocked everybody because he went the other way for his first home run of the year, and there were 2 aboard. He was thrilled to death. Look at that smile. He's been waiting for that to come out for a long, long time. That ended up being the game winner. That's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game.
On a beautiful night here in downtown Cleveland, the Indians are victorious in Game 1 of this 3-game series, and they will stay atop the American League Central Division standings. Back with the postgame show next.